Martin Luther King Jr. had the internal strength to withstand an all-out war against him. Before his assassination in 1968, he had become deeply unpopular in the U.S., largely due to a relentless FBI smear campaign that shaped public perception. In 1963, only 37% of Americans had a negative view of King. By 1966, that number had jumped to 63%, fueled by negative press and disinformation spread by the FBI. King had expanded his message beyond civil rights, speaking out on labor rights, poverty, and American imperialism. He urged people of all races to peacefully unite against what he saw as a corrupt government. But the media really turned against him after he declared that the U.S. was the greatest purveyor of violence in the world today. By speaking out against militaristic foreign policies, King had made himself an enemy of the so-called liberal elites. The New York Times, in a dismissive piece titled "Dr. King's Error," essentially told him to stay in his lane, focusing on racial tensions in Chicago, Harlem, and Watts, instead of global issues. Meanwhile, Life magazine went even further, calling his criticism of U.S. foreign policy demagogic slander. The message was clear: challenging racism was one thing, but challenging American power was another. Before he was murdered, King was planning to bring hundreds of thousands of people of all races together in the Poor People's Campaign to a protest camp in Washington, D.C. As he talked about class struggle, human rights, and bloody imperialism, he wasn't showing any signs of backing down. This was despite the FBI bugging his home. They bugged the hotels he stayed in. They followed King everywhere, even planting violent protesters at his speeches to make him appear dangerous to the American public. But their tactics didn't stop there. In one of their most infamous moves, the Bureau sent King an anonymous letter, one they hoped would break him. Inside the package was a tape recording compiled from the bugs the FBI had planted. FBI audio technician John Matter handed over the tape, which the Bureau claimed contained evidence of King engaging in orgiastic trysts with prostitutes, what they called the depths of his sexual perversion and depravity. King always knew the FBI was using underhanded tactics against him, but this was taking things too far. Not for a minute did he believe the letter and the tapes were from a disgruntled member of the civil rights movement, as the FBI wanted him to think. He knew it was from them. Knowing he had a conscience, the letter told him to, quote, do the right thing over his alleged cheating on his wife. It called him a colossus fraud, evil and vicious, an abnormal moral imbecile. It said that he should take his filthy, fraudulent self and disappear himself from the face of the planet. And it was all sanctioned by Hoover and backed by the CIA, which had its own anti-King surveillance program. As you know, he was eventually stopped, but not by pressure and smears, but with a single bullet. We'll come back to that topic later. But first, let's see who else the FBI manipulated and in the end destroyed.